segment 3, part 3, to our review day
of reviews of TV, movie, and games. So,
spoiler alerts. There will be spoilers. Just like there were last segment, there will be a lot of spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Complicated.
Is that complicated enough for you? Spoiler.
I could probably get more, but I hope you don't. Alright, we gotta go. Come on. We gotta show you the food. Hold on.
I could go into how spoiler, the word was founded.
No.
The root word spoil,
no.
which means to go bad.
This is not that type of show.
No?
No, it's not an educated show.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was an education show.
No, it's not.
Well, we're educating people on why they should see Marvel movies.
No. We're giving them reasons to see it. We're not educating them to see it. Educating them would me having to teach them everything Marvel from comics.
You know how long that would take?
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it.
For those people who don't know how long that would take, that would probably take you all the way to the end of the year. If we were to just do review shows about comics, like giving you like classic era comics, golden era comics, silver era comics, new 52 comics, it would basically take you to the end of the year to get everything in there. If we did nothing but 3-hour episodes on that. It'd be like trying to watch a year of Raw in a week. That's just something you can't do. It's impossible.
Okay. So, back to our review.
Alright, so something we omitted in last segment that we said we were going to talk about this segment were the Wonder Twins.
Please don't ever call them that again.
Wonder Twin powers, unite! Unite!
Never do that again. So, after that, monstrosity of Wonder Twins.
That was great.
Monstrosity of Wonder Twins.
That was beautiful.
It was horrifying.
It was wonderful.
It was really bad.
It was monumental.
It was disastrous.
It was epicness.
It was anything that is not epic at all.
It was the most splendid thing that I've ever done.
You are being the most sarcastic person I've ever met. So anyways, we're going to be talking about
the Wonder Twins.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, also known as just twins.
Also known as Magneto's kids.
Don't listen to him because they're not Wonder Twins.
No, the Wonder Twins are DC property.
Unfortunately. And they're DC property that needs to stay buried, very long time.
Well, the last time that they were mentioned was on Smallville, and that was a while ago, so.
They haven't been mentioned since, thank God.
Anyways.
Moving on. So, twins, which is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They're played by Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who are actually a couple in real life.
See, this is why I love that they played
also,
these
little trivia for you. They also played roles in Godzilla in 2014.
That's why I love these people. They played husband and wife in Godzilla. They're husband and wife in real life.
And they're playing brother and
sister. They're playing brother and sister.
One would scream incest, but that's just saying. That's just, yeah. So, he already said it. I'm going to say it one time. Spoiler alert. And this is the reason why. Quicksilver dies.
Oh, no!
We did say, how many times you said spoiler alert?
15 times.
Okay, I don't want to know how he counted all those times, but okay. We're moving on.
The same time, I count my times the same way that Paul Heyman counts eat, sleep, suplex, repeat. That's how I do it.
Yeah,
and we have no idea how he does it.
Leave it to the wrestling man to bring in wrestling in a comic book conversation.
Oh yeah.
Moving on. So, Quicksilver dies. Yes, people. That's a spoiler.
However,
he actually is dead.
However, we have reason to believe that he could be brought back to life in the future.
Well,
or a future movie.
All comic book heroes, they actually never truly stayed dead. It's the kind of thing about being a comic book hero and stuff. They never actually truly stayed dead because, all comic book fans want to hear about how this hero can die. And then when they die, they still want to read more material. So they have to be brought back to life in some type of way, shape, or form.
Case in point, Superman. Going from Marvel to DC, Superman died. There was outcry for more Superman. And he was brought back. Another case in point. Another superhero from the DC universe, Batman. I don't know how many times he's died. My friend Matt would know more about that than I would.
11.
But he has been brought back every single time.
Yes, Batman has died 11 times and has been brought back every single time. So, and I know that from reading comics and all my knowledge of Batman. But if you want to know more about it, go to IGN.com. They actually have an article about all 11 Batman deaths in comics, which very interesting article. For the people that have not read comics and stuff. So, but yes, Quicksilver dies. Do you want to tell him how he died?
I would. Okay, so it's the final battle scene where you have them all gathered around this drill thing trying to raise up the city of Sokovia. I think it's Sokovia.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but I think you say it's Sokovia. To raise it up and then plummet it down to Earth. This is Ultron's plan to basically wipe out the entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
I.e., Comet Big Bang.
Yeah.
So it's during that you have Hawkeye there, Clint Barton shooting away at people. You have Scarlet Witch doing her magic thing. And then here comes Quicksilver, looking to stop some bullets from getting onto his sister. He avoids almost all of them. Almost. He gets hit with one. The whole theater gasped. A collective moan. It was very, very cool to be in that theater that night.
Very, very interesting alternate scene. That's actually not how he died.
No.
No. I don't know if maybe you don't remember how he died.
No, I don't.
You kind of just said that?
No.
Alright, people, so this is how he actually died. As Ultron was damaged by either it's the Hulk or I forgot exactly how he got damaged. But he got damaged, so he ended up grabbing a Quinjet. And what he did was that he went around and actually started killing people. Hawkeye was still trying to get one of the people onto the helicarrier, and Ultron in the Quinjet was actually coming to shoot him when Quicksilver went ahead, grabbed a broken car and pushed it in the way, but in the process got shot on at least 5 different occasions from that. And that's how he died. So
I knew that.
No, he didn't.
I knew that.
You said one time.
I was there. I knew that.
He said one time.
I knew that.
Oh man.
I was just
You watched that movie like 2 more times.
I was just yeah.
It's on camera. We know that You didn't remember how he died.
I was just...
You gonna give up?
No. Never. I will never surrender.
Complicated? Simple.
I will never surrender. You will never, ever, 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 ever see me surrender.
Complicated?
There will be no white flag above my door.
Simple.
No white flag.
See, now, for those of you who are asking, how can this be made simple? I'm going to tell you exactly how it can be made simple. When I asked him to tell me how Quicksilver died, all he had to say was, I don't remember exactly how he died. I just know that he passed.
But I did remember. I did. I just wanted to see if Matt knew that I was
You're hesitating.
I'm hesitating forcefully. I'm hesitating on every word that makes you think that I'm doing that purposely. I know a few people who do that, actually, but I am not one of them. And you know that I'm not one of them. I'm not like, yeah. No.
As all off center frozen, you're hesitating.
Anyway, I was just checking to see if Matt would correct me, which he did. So, yeah.
He's lying out of his ass.
I am not lying out of my rectum.
This is the look of lies here, people.
It is not. I'm not lying. I'm not. You know what?
Then why'd you tell me another scene?
You know what? Bam.
People, comment below if you feel like he is currently lying. If he did not remember how Quicksilver died.
Anyway, back to how they were portrayed. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I thought they were portrayed very well. I thought it was different than Future Past, which was expected because you couldn't have the same thing for both since they're owned by the same people. So you would expect a little variation, which is good. Because you had Quicksilver in Days of Future Past, you have Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I would like to have some reference to X-Men. Some little, like, snippet that would have let you know, oh, your father can bend metal or something. Or anything like that. I would have loved it, but they couldn't do it. Because sadly, X-Men is owned by Fox.
Yes, X-Men's film properties are owned by Fox.
Yes.
In which case, they can't reference anything to X-Men at all.
Very sad, but true.
So,
anyway, as far as ratings go for how they were played, I would give it a solid 8.5. The accents were on point. They didn't really lose them throughout the film. What I hate is you have an accent in a film, and then you lose it during the course of film. They stuck with their accent.
yeah. They're gonna, I really don't rate personal performances, but I'll rate them just because of the fact that it's rare to see two people portray one character in two different films. Scarlet Witch gets a 10 because she was just on point. Quicksilver, on the other hand, if they're gonna follow the comics, he has no accent.
Okay, well...
Then again, Scarlet Witch doesn't have one either.
Okay, well, based on where they were in prison, Sokovia, it is in Russia. So you would imagine growing up there that with people talking in that accent, then you would adopt that accent yourself. Now, especially if you were a young child.
Can I finish? Damn. Mr. Interruption over here. No, put it back to you. Gotta let a brother speak. Damn.
Sorry.
Because I wasn't done.
Sorry!
As I was saying before this one interrupted me and went on a thing about how where you grow up is where your accents come from.
It's true.
Yes, it's true, but I would have made that point if you would let me finish.
I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. If you want me to say it in Spanish, I can't. But I'm sorry.
That's hilarious. Anyways.
Thank you.
Before the interruption, I was saying how they don't have any accents in the comics. But because of the fact that you really can't go too much into their history without delving into X-Men. So you had to kind of change their history up just a little bit for your cinematic universe. It would make sense for them to maybe have an accent because of where they've been for so long.
I already said I'm sorry. Stop staring at me.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you let someone finish. So, I give Quicksilver a 9 because I think the other Quicksilver was better.
That was actually going to be my next question. Out of both Quicksilvers featured in Days and Age.
I like the look of Quicksilver in Age of Ultron better. However, I thought that the Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past was actually the better one. Because not only was the special effects done very well, but he was funnier.
He was, wasn't he?
He was much funnier in Days of Future Past, especially the part where he's running around the room, pushing the bullets away from everyone, and that it was just humorous as all hell. I thought that was hilariously funny. So he's funnier in X-Men Days of Future Past. He's not that funny in Avengers Age of Ultron.
See, also what I liked in Days was that you had a scene which showed him doing his thing in like slow motion. You didn't really get that in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but that could also be because of the fact that you have a very big ensemble cast.
Could be.
Like, the cast was, I think, 2 times bigger than X-Men's.
That could be. And also could do with budget factors.
No,
they could have shot a scene.
The budget, I don't think the budget for a Marvel Avengers movie is a problem.
Okay. Put it this way, then.
You had $260 million to fuck with.
Okay, put it this way. When you have a big Marvel movie, such as Age of Ultron, you put certain numbers where it needs to go. You put X amount of dollars into Ultron. You put X amount of dollars into Iron Man's suit. You put X amount of dollars into all the Avengers. When it comes down to it, you want to focus on them. You may have shot a scene with Quicksilver, like doing the whole slow motion thing. Does it need to be seen? Do you want to put money in that when you have so much money going other places? You're staring at me.
Actually, I'm not. I'm actually feeling straight.
Mike, I feel you looking at me. All right. Anyway, so there's that. I would have to agree with Matt. I like Days of Future Past Quicksilver as well better because he was very humorous in Days of Future Past. But
he was more likable.
I liked Days of Ultron too because it was a darker tone movie than Days of Future Past.
Yeah, not to say that wasn't.
Not to say that wasn't dark either.
Yeah,
but it was just Age. It
had its dark tones here and there, but
Age of Ultron
had a darker tone.
Mm-hmm.
But it did have its humor.
It did. Which brings us to our second point.
Yes, the humor aspect of Avengers Age of Ultron. There's this one running joke about in the very beginning of the movie when Iron Man curses, and Captain America calls him out on it. Throughout the entire movie, they reference how you shouldn't curse in front of Captain America. He'll get on you about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious.
And I think Cap said something. And then Tony's like, "Oh, Cap, watch your mouth."
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
And then that was also a running gag throughout the movie.
Yep, that was good. I did like the humor was really funny. Ultron was pretty funny.
Ultron was so Starky, it was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, his brain did come from Stark, so.
I will get to the comic point about that after we're done with the humor thing, because I do want to shoot off into that. Actually, we should leave that for last. We're going to leave that for last.
I should leave Chris if you're left for last.
We should leave it for last, because then I'll shoot us right into Phase 3, at the end of Phase 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, actually, Avengers Age of Ultron is not the end of Phase 2.
No, it's not.
Ant-Man is the end of Phase 2.
Yes. Speaking of Ant-Man, I will reference it later again. Ant-Man is should have been a pivotal part of Age of Ultron, but
yes,
it wasn't.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Fast enough.
So, what did you think of humor? Was it?
I thought it was really funny.
It was funny, obviously.
I thought it was great. One of the best humor scenes in the movie was when they all got drunk and they all tried to lift Mjolnir. Tony failed, obviously, because everybody and his dog knows that Tony Stark is not worthy of ruling Asgard.
And then Tony also tried with...
and then you got Tony trying with Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner actually tried to Hulk out.
You have Tony trying with War Machine, Rhodey.
No, I thought Tony tried with Hulk.
No, Hulk tried his own.
I love that Bruce Banner tried to Hulk out. He's like, hurrah! And then
he faked Hulk out.
It's great. And then Captain America tried, and it budged.
He budged it.
And Thor's face was just like...
Thor's face had this smile of like, you're never going to listen to... Wait. Did he just move that a little bit?
I can't see your eyes, so, you know.
Describing.
Okay.
Interruption. Calm it down. Bring it down. Bring the interruption down. Second time. Alright, go away.
No.
And stuff. So, yeah, everyone in that theater was laughing. That was hilarious.
And then we'll bring out Vision right now, because Vision actually factors into this humor aspect.
That wasn't humorous. That was more of excitement.
That was humorous excitement.
No one laughed. Everyone got excited, but no one laughed.
I was laughing.
I was going to leave Vision for his own thing.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so, because you have Ultron, who is made from Tony's mind, you have Jarvis. Now, Jarvis, for those of you who watched it...
you already skipped a whole part. Alright, continue. Because I was doing Hulkbuster first.
Well, okay, what is more important?
Hulkbuster into Vision into the end credits, scene, and Comics Talk. Comics Talk into Phase 3, and then everything else after that.
Okay, don't let me...
I literally had the table set.
Don't let me slow you down.
Alright, so, next thing we're going to talk about is, well, the one thing that the trailer has shown off and everyone got very excited for. Hulkbuster armor.
Also known as Victoria. Which I didn't find that out until the movie.
Very glad that the movie actually mentioned that. That was actually
I didn't know that. Alright, so
its code name was Victoria, and that's how he called for it, which was awesome.
So it turns out that Tony Stark has a satellite circling around the Earth. Probably a few.
I mean, if you're a billionaire, who doesn't have a satellite orbiting the... I mean, Bruce Wayne in DC has one.
Right. Anyway.
Lex Luthor has one.
Anyway. So, you have their satellite shooting around the Earth. This is more than halfway through the movie.
This is about the halfway point.
You have, Jarvis is down. And we'll explain that later. Jarvis is done. So he doesn't have Jarvis in the suit anymore. He does have another operative, Friday, who we'll get into that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls for Victoria. Victoria is a satellite which contains the Hulkbuster armor. Now, the Hulkbuster armor is basically a bigger version of the Iron Man suit suited to combat Hulk in case she ever needed to. That's probably why it was there.
Yes, in case the Hulk ever got possessed or something happened where the Hulk needed to be stopped, the Hulkbuster armor was created to combat the Hulk and stop him to the best of Iron Man's abilities.
Now, in order to suit up for Hulkbuster, he was already in an Iron Man suit, a regular Iron Man suit. So it was a suit inside a suit.
It's suitception.
I was just about to say that, damn fool. But I love you anyway. So you had them go at it, and it was pretty cool. Hulk basically tears off his arm at one point, and then Victoria sends down another arm. And I was talking about this with Biggie. For those of you who watch Power Rangers Zeo, he hasn't, so he wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. There's a Zord, which has the exact same type arm, the new arm, the like punching madness arm. So what happens is you have Hulk, Iron Man, get on top of Hulk, and basically go like this, repeatedly.
Meanwhile, he's saying, "Go to sleep, go 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 to sleep."
And then Hulk just,
that was hilarious.
Hulk just turns and Hulk just turns like this.
Turns, pushes him off,
and Tony's like,
"I'm sorry."
That was funny.
Which, I mean, even if you're in a humongous Hulkbuster armor, I'd still say sorry to Hulk. I mean, I don't want him to tear my head off.
That was hilarious. And Bryant told me this, the Iron Spider monkey. He told me that basically in every incarnation where they have Hulkbuster armor, that it basically gets torn to shreds.
It does.
Which is what it did in this movie, although
it barely got.
Bryant said less likely so than it did in other iterations of
it didn't get as torn as it should have.
Of the stuff. So maybe it could be used again.
I don't see a scenario where Hulk is gonna go against the team anymore.
Okay, well, it could be. If needed.
If needed, yeah. But as I said, I don't see a scenario where they're gonna use the Hulkbuster armor anymore.
Alright. Anyway.
Could be wrong. They could use it in Infinity War. Who knows?
Anyway, before he gets into Vision, I do want to stop by and say what an amazing job the stunt people did on this movie. The stunts were absolutely incredible.
CGI was absolutely insane.
The CGI was wonderful. The stunt work on the movie was great. The pyrotechnic effects were fantabulous. I don't think I spotted a single time in the movie where I'm like, oh, that's a miniature.
I don't think they did miniatures.
Which is good.
If they did, I think the only thing I can think of is probably the scene where they're raising the building, the village or town. Yeah, I think that's probably maybe the only miniature, but you couldn't even notice it.
But what I liked is that you couldn't really be like, oh, that's a miniature. Look at me. Because there's some movies that are like, oh, miniature. Look. This one you couldn't really tell. So I give the effects team props for that. Special effects.
When you have a $260 million budget.
Special effects, visual effects. There's a mosquito in my car.
No, it's on your car, not in your car.
Okay. Goodbye, mosquito.
He's still alive.
Anyway, on to the second biggest reason why everybody wanted to see this movie, not including Ultron.
Vision.
Paul Bentley.
Who played Vision.
Who also played Jarvis. Alright, so, as I said, you had Jarvis out. Jarvis, for those who don't know, is based off of a butler that Howard Stark actually employed, called Edward Jarvis. And Jarvis. He was featured in Agent Carter this year. If you haven't watched that, I would suggest that you watch that because it's a very good prequel series, and they're maybe looking to make a season 2. Hopefully they are. It's good. So for Tony Stark's purposes, Jarvis is basically AI who runs almost everything that Tony does is run by Jarvis. So, and then Ultron in his computer programmable state takes out Jarvis, or so we think. Tony found Jarvis, and Ultron was going to upgrade his body during the movie. And this is also where an Infinity Stone comes into play, which will be mentioned heavily later. But I'm only going to touch on it now. An Infinity Stone comes into play and is used on the forehead of Vision. And then
bring his body to life.
Jarvis gets transferred into Vision.
And voila, Vision is born.
And voila, you have Vision.
Vision is born.
Now, I love that they gave the role to Paul Bettany, as it should be, because Paul Bettany voiced Jarvis in Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Avengers.
And Avengers Age of Ultron.
And Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, Vision was totally awesome.
He was.
Is. And going back to the Mjolnir scene, so you have him basically saying something, and then the Avengers were not sure if they could trust him. So what does he do? He hands Thor Mjolnir. It's like, here you go.
Yep.
Time to go.
He's like, time to go to work, and hands Mjolnir to him. In which case,
the entire theater pops.
Was screaming at the fact that he's actually worthy to pick up Mjolnir.
And then, scene later, Thor's like, we can trust him.
Yeah.
He held Mjolnir, we can trust him.
Yeah. And it was funny, because at the end of the movie, both Captain America and Iron Man are trying to figure out, well, because he's not human, like, you know, it's like an elevator picking up Mjolnir, you know what I'm saying? Like, it brings Mjolnir up with him. So therefore, he's not human, therefore he is not worthy. It's hilarious. They had their little thing going back and forth.
Yeah.
And stuff. My one little gripe with this movie.
You have a gripe?
I have one gripe with it. My one gripe with this movie was that it didn't set up Captain America's Civil War like it should have.
But it did. It did set it up, but I'm sure that Matt has his own.
The fact that Tony made Ultron and Cap didn't like it, yeah, that's that. The ending, though, which is what I was getting at, they both shook hands, they were both really friendly to each other, and they both went their ways. No, I hate you, no anything remotely setting up Civil War. One gripe. Oh no, I loved everything else.
Well, maybe it will get set up during S.H.I.E.L.D.
Actually, I think Ant-Man's what's going to set it up.
Well, we can do that too.
Because Ant-Man's a hero that's also a thief. Makes sense that the government is already sick and tired of it.
Alright, so moving on to Ant-Man. Hank Pym, if you read the comics, who is the first Ant-Man, Hank Pym is actually the one who creates Ultron.
Yes,
not Tony.
Ultron 1. Hank Pym, with the help of Tony. The help. Not building on his own, no, the help. With the help of Tony Stark and his money, creates Ultron. And at first, Ultron is just almost like Ant-Man's personal Jarvis. Just robot form.
I'm sure in that scenario, Ultron would be based off of Hank Pym's mind rather than Stark's mind. Although, I don't know. I'm not well versed in the comics like that.
No, because in the movies, there was never a part where Ultron was freaking helping the Avengers.
Okay.
Once Ultron was created, immediately went to, oh, I'm going to destroy the human race and everything about it.
Okay.
And stuff. Also, because he doesn't know the comics, he wouldn't know this. When Hank Pym created Ultron, he made sure that Ultron didn't know anything about violence. Because without violence installed, Ultron won't have a need to do anything violent or anything of that nature. All he'll want to do is just to help and support. And before you ask, no, he will not protect either. That's also part of violence.
Okay.
So, at one point, the Avengers and Ant-Man needed his help. They couldn't do it alone. They needed more backup. So, Hank Pym was like, you know what? I think it's time to have Ultron learn violence. So Ultron learns violence. He helps the Avengers in defeating a foe. But as he does that, he starts to realize that humans are very flawed. And that he's here to protect, help, support, and serve now. Because that was now his given command. So how is he going to protect the human race? Extinct them. They're flawed because they fight with each other. Which is true, we have wars. So that's Ultron's reasoning. Which is actually also the same reason Avengers Age of Ultron, so I was happy about that.
Yeah. And then in the movie you have Iron Man, well, Tony Stark.
You have Tony Stark and Bruce Banner creating Ultron.
With Bruce Banner helping.
Yes. But it was Tony Stark's baby, in all reality. But that's the difference between Ultron the movie, and Ultron and everywhere else.
Alright, so
moving on.
Following it up.
We actually had that in this video. I actually had to bring up things.
Yes, you do. Following it up with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that occurred this week.
No. End credit scene. End.
See, I was gonna save the end credit scene for like a whole other segment where we delve heavily into it.
We're ending Avengers here. Avengers is not taking up another part. It already took up one. We're ending Avengers here. We talk about the end credit scene now. End this video, and then we'll talk about Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, so as I mentioned, the Infinity Stone was used to bring Vision to life. Now, to this point, we've seen four. I didn't see the.
If I remember correctly, which four they are: the Mind Stone, which is the one in Vision's head; the Space Stone, which is the one in Avengers; Tesseract; the Ether, which is, if I remember correctly, I think the Reality Stone.
And which one did we see in Guardians?
And that's the Power Stone.
Okay. All right. So
there's two stones left. There's a green one, and we saw red, blue, purple, yellow. I think there's a pink one.
All right. So in credit scene, you have the statues of all the heroes. Their names come up, and then you have a gauntlet.
You have a black screen. In the black screen, something starts to open, which looks to be almost like a glove-like or a gauntlet-like thing.
Now, for those who follow the comics would know that this is called the Infinity Gauntlet.
Which is where all the Infinity Stones get put on, and you have infinite power.
And then you have all the stones light up on said gauntlet. And then you see something purple starts to become clearer. Who is it but Thanos, who you first saw at the end of the first Avengers.
And then you saw a full body of in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And then you saw a very good, very well-defined face in the light at the end of Age of Ultron.
Yep. In which case, he picks up an empty, because he said that they had he said that the gems were on there. They weren't. He had an empty Infinity Gauntlet, In which case, his little phrase was, "Fine, I'll do it myself." End scene.
And why did the stone places glow?
They shined to show you that there's actually the places. That way you know it's the gauntlet.
Oh.
There's no stones there because he doesn't have any of them.
I thought it was in there.
That's why he said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." He has to go collect them all now.
Okay.
Because remember, in Guardians of the Galaxy, he had Ronan go get the Power Stone for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But Ronan decided to be a little cocky, arrogant, power-hungry thief and take the stone for himself. And then the Guardians were able to stop him and grab it and give it to Nova Prime. So, that being said, Thanos still has to find 6. And yes, people, there are 6 stones. 4 have already been introduced. We need 2 more. Now, granted, there are about a good amount of movies in between Infinity War Part 1. So, there's enough time. And I'm going to guess right now that in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is really where Thanos is really going to collect at least most of them.
And then keep in mind that there's a distinct amount of moves between Part 1 and Part 2 for stuff to happen.
There's only one movie.
There's a movie between the two for stuff to happen. So there's that. All right. So we are ending this segment.
Yes, we're ending this segment now. We talked about Avengers. Really quickly, rate Avengers Age of Ultron.
9.5.
9.5 out of 10?
9.5. 9.5.
What? What's the 0.5 missing for?
The 0.5 missing for me, I really, really don't... I mentioned this at the first Avengers. I don't like the, zoom thing. They did it less in this movie than they did in the first Avengers movie. But I still don't like the zoom thing. So, I gotta knock it down a peg. And that's just me personally.
Because of my one little gripe with this film of not setting up Civil War, it's also going to get 9.5. It's a very good film. Is it better than the first Avengers? In my mind, yes, it is by this much. But it does surpass Avengers. Is the villain better? I would say so. Is the team up better? Kind of, yes. Action sequences are so much better. And everything else was just awesome about it. Was the end credits scene better? That was a tough one. I'm going to say yes to that one, though. Because at least we know.
Why would I say yes? I would say yes because you have the first end credit scene of them being in space. And you see Thanos. And that was a great reveal. Because it was great.
Yeah.
But this one, you actually have him going on a quest now. You actually see.
You actually you pretty much see him get the keys to what he needs.
You see the gauntlet.
He finally has his gauntlet that he needs.
He says, "Fine, I'll do it myself," which basically sets up his whole arc for Infinity War.
Yes, he finally now is gonna stop being lazy as all hell and fucking go get his own damn stones. Jesus.
Because as everyone knows, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
That's where you said, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Because the Ronin failed him.
The Collector failed him.
Collector failed him.
Loki failed him.
Loki definitely failed him. So, gotta do it himself.
Yep, so if so many people failing you to get your stones, go get your own damn stones.
Yep. Alright, that ends this segment.
That ends us. We gotta go bring food up. We will do another one, and it will be based on this past Tuesday's episode of what he has in his shirt, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is also directly tied in with Avengers, Age of Ultron.
And it also further sets up Phase 3.
And further sets up Phase 3, yes. So, this is it for us. On this part anyways, this is part 3. We'll come back at you with part 4. And that's probably going to be the final part. We will talk about the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. And we will probably talk about maybe Monday Night Raw. which I'm pretty sure he's dying to watch it. Or he's dying to talk about it. So
catch you on the flip side.
So we will see you all later.